Hi everyone. This is River sending hello from Paris, and um, gratefully that we have this chance to get together online again. So now this section is the third, no, yeah,
The
third,
fourth.
yeah, fourth event of this season's online program of Adam. So I'm gonna give a very brief introduction of the context of the event here. So Adam, abbreviation of Asia Discovers Asia Meeting for Contemporary Performance, is a artist and artist curated initiative by the Taipei Performing Arts Center. And each year we bring together thinkers, makers, artists, curators, previously physically in Taiwan to exchange, collaborate, and eventually generate knowledge production. And since last year, the whole Adam project has been moving into the digital format. And this year, we are dividing our online programs into 3 seasons. And the second season now in August is curated by Taiwanese new media artist and choreographer Su Wenqi, or Wenqi Su. And Wenqi is frequently researching, making her work revolving around the notions of and presence of the digital cultures, bodies, and technologies. And this section is entitled, this program in the August is entitled Level 3 Alert, Art Variant. So in this section, when she has invited a series of artists providing us how they have been confronting or navigating the new normal setting with this ongoing pandemic, and how their artistic and collaborative or social voices can be heard and seen via this online format. So I'm gonna pass the floor to Wenqi. Let's welcome Wenqi.
Thank you, Reva. Thank you for the beautiful introduction. So I'm Wenqi, dance choreographer and new media artist from Taiwan, and welcome everyone to join us tonight for the fourth program of this online event. And thank you, TPAC and Reva, for your generous invitation. And I'm so happy that for this program, there's a opportunity to reconnect to the artists that I once worked with, or I'm interested to discover further their work under pandemic. So here I will share you with my curatorial test. Level 3, alert, art variants, art from to home, the new normal, the new stage, a time of isolation and mediation, flex time, flex space, confirmed but not fully, cancelled but not, cancelled but temporarily, postponed indefinitely, reopening but partially. I live in your past, you stand in my future. Online jet lag, performance bubble. You look at me, I look at you, and me. Dance in a special box, singing with the impermanence, then in self-murmuring, infinite online meetings. My body is disappearing. Level 1 alert, level 2 alert, level 3 alert. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. Since mid-May, the national-wide level 3 COVID-19 alert was imposed in Taiwan due to the outbreak of pandemic. People live with the conditions of self-lockdown and working from home intensively and unexpectedly. The situation is nothing new for so many places around the world, and there's a scope for rethinking the world between you and me, here and there, and what it means to continue get in touch with each part of the world wide web. This online gathering program for Adam Level 3 Alerts are variants, invite artists and curators to discuss and question on the current working living restraint, our state of mind, our physical state, our reflection on the performing arts, whether they are on site, online, or coexisting with VR, and how we would meet in this great unknown and variance. And today we have the artist from Hong Kong, Dick Wong, with us. Dick Wong had a background in journalism and working in the publishing industry before tending to pursue a career in contemporary dance and theater. Since 2006, he has toured intensively in Europe and Asia with BOB, 1+1, and 3K. His recent work include The Rites of Spring, We Are Now Six, I See, and You and I, which you will see today. Wong is named Artist of the Year Dance in the Hong Kong Art Development Award 2018. He is also an avid practitioner in devising creative research projects and had collaborated with City Contemporary Dance Company, Hong Kong Dance Alliance, Unlock Dancing Plaza, and Zunian ecology, etc. So here we are going to present Dick Wong's work today, and this process will be like we will need your collaborations. So today's program consists 3 parts. First part is an online performative exercise that Dick Wong will have some instruction for us. So I will lead you through these 3 parts of today's event. And second part will be an online screening of the documented performance You and I, which Dick Wong create this piece 10 years ago and has revised the piece just in May this year. And for this occasion, Dick has decided, or after our discussion, Dick decided to have the adaptation from this piece and share with you his thoughts on how to adopt this piece, which is actually happening in theater, and how to transform it online, and what's the difference of the relationship between him as a dancer, a performer, and you as an audience from either it's in theater or what's the difference here online together. And the third part will be the QA session. And so let's start the first part. So here there's some instruction from Dick that I will help him to lead you through. So please, everyone, to have your camera on and sound muted and your caption on. Yeah, so please switch on your sharing. So please switch on your camera and have the sound muted and have the caption on. The caption button is under the, you see this from the setting, and there's a, in Chinese, 字幕, and then for English it's caption. So the caption will translate directly from English to, you can see the running subtitle under, yeah. Yes. Do you have any technical problem? You can tell us. We will try to assist you through that. It's okay? Okay, great. Thank you so much. Good to see you. Great. So yeah, that we hope that you will enjoy that through like joining this performance together. So Dick's focus is really on, actually it's the first time he's doing online performance, and in fact he's very skeptical on doing this. So we have a lot of discussion through this very you know, like interesting process, and to see that how can we somehow being the performer as performer at the same time being the audience. So it would be nice and you will enjoy it much more if you can participate in with what Dick's wish tonight. Okay, so we have a camera on and sound muted and caption on, and then please, Dick.
Hello, are you there? Can you hear me? Good. Can you see me? No? Okay. Can you see me now? Hi there, everyone. I am Dick Wong. Where are you now? Are you home? Are you in the office? Or somewhere outdoors? What time is it where you are now? And how is the weather? I am in Hong Kong. It is around 7 o'clock in the evening, very warm and very humid here. I am now looking at you using a MacBook Air. How about you? What device are you using? A mobile phone? A notebook? A tablet like iPad? Android or iOS? Are you using earphones? And by the way, have you switched on full frame mode? I'm sure I look quite different on each and every computer screen, both physically and technologically. I might be big or small. I might be in rectangle or square. I might be bright or dim. I might be clear or blurred. My voice might sound different. My movement might look smooth or delayed. There is a lot going on between you and I here, beyond our control, but instrumental in shaping our experience. It matters, but probably what matters most is you being here. Yes, so you are now here. Welcome, and thanks for switching on your camera. I really want to see you too. Not only your presence is as important as mine in the context of performance, but also your body, that is the spectating body, tells me a lot about you, or even your opinion of me. Like this. Or this. Or this. This. And what about this? One minute. It was 1 minute. We have just experienced 1 minute together. How is 1 minute of stillness in a theater different from 1 minute of stillness on the internet? What came to your mind during that 1 minute? In the theater, when everything is going on, 1 minute of stillness is a disruption. It may heighten awareness, create tension, perpetuate expectation. It might seem to last forever, but you will still wait. On the internet, when everything is going on, 1 minute of stillness is probably enough to make you lose all your interest in me. Yes, your interest in me. Here, what could I do to keep you looking at me? Yes, your attention. Yes, your engagement. Yes, your gaze. Yes, your patience.
Ladies and gentlemen, the funkiest horn section in Metropolis. Oh! We call that classy brass. I got it. Gone. The performer is gone. The image is gone.
the performance is over. Would you remember anything? Whether you remember or how you remember probably doesn't matter. What I'm still thinking is, we are here together, but are we really together?
Thank you, Dick. So this is the first part. And now we slowly move into the second part. And second part will be an online screening of the documented performance You and I that Dick just did in this May this year. And it's 18 minutes of a documentation film. And here the instruction from Dick is that you have the message box on your right side and have your sound muted, like the first part. And the camera is up to you. Either you leave it on or have it switch off. It's up to you. And so on the message box, while you are watching the film, the idea is that you can freely comment in the message box, as if that normally when we sit in the theater watching the show, and there a lot of thought might comes to you, and this message box will be like the place you can write and speak out your mind, or any commenting or whatever thoughts comes to you, idea, or you simply just want to say something, and then you are free to write on this message box. So, 燕贤, please play the film. 谢谢。
據說神喺最初創造天地嘅時候，覺得要有光。佢話 Let there be light， 於是就有咗光。有光就有空間，有光我哋先至睇得到舞台，睇得見表演者，睇得見台上發生嘅事。不過根據物理學所講，光所以存在係需要物質嘅反射，因為喺真空嘅環境裏邊係唔會見到光線嘅。換言之，有光先至有演出，但係光亦都要依賴舞台、表演者同埋台上發生嘅事而顯現出嚟。就好似你同我咁，如果冇咗你喺度，咁我而家喺呢度所做嘅一切都一定唔會成立。表演嘅空間同我哋嘅生活嘅世界一樣，係由相對主義支配。光與暗之間嘅相對，分開咗表演同埋觀賞，分開咗舞台同埋觀眾席，分開咗表演者同埋觀眾，分開咗看與被看，分開咗你同我。你喺黑暗裏邊，我喺光裏邊。我喺光裏面，燈光越猛烈，我見到嘅嘢越少。但係我見到嘅嘢越少，我就覺得越安全。直到眼前嘅景象變成白茫茫一片，冇顏色、冇線條、冇距離，我再見唔到你。我可以忘記俾人望住嘅感覺，忘記你對我嘅期望。你喺黑暗裏面等緊事情發生。有人話光明代表安全，黑暗代表危險。但係喺呢個環境裏邊，啱啱就相反。黑暗代表安全。喺黑暗裏面，你可以選擇打開或者眯埋雙眼，抽離或者投入，發吽哣或者發夢。 黑暗仲可以幫你暫時忘記外邊嘅世界，將眼前嘅景象變成一種虛構嘅現實。你望住我，我望住你望住我。有時我會覺得好緊張，有時我又會覺得好興奮。但係如果我夠冷靜嘅話，如果我可以抽離到嘅話，如果我當咗自己係觀眾嘅話，會唔會其實我同你都一樣喺度睇緊一場演出？我望住你望住我，雖然你一粒聲都冇出，但係你嘅身體不斷咁樣話緊俾我聽，你喺呢一秒嘅感覺，又甚至喺呢一秒鐘你對我嘅睇法。喺黑暗中，喺我哋覺得安全嘅情況底下，身體係唔會講大話。1分鐘，我哋啱啱一齊經歷嘅係1分鐘。劇場嘅空間有時可以好似黑洞咁樣，將時間嘅觀念扭曲。1分鐘可以好似1秒鐘咁短，亦都可以好似一世咁長。喺台上邊，當我腦裏邊一片空白嘅時候，當我專注力唔夠嘅時候，幾秒鐘嘅停頓就足以改變你同我之間嘅關係。喺台下邊，當我唔能夠再吸引你望住我，當你對我唔再產生興趣，時間嘅觀念由嗰一刻開始，亦都變得唔一樣。 我企咗喺你面前，雙手放鬆，雙腳平衡擺放。我遞高隻手，將重心移向右邊，然後開始跳舞。我一邊跳，你會唔會一邊喺度諗我喺度做緊乜？我係咪喺度想證明一啲乜嘢？你會將注意力放喺個作品想表達嘅訊息，定係我着緊嘅衫？我喐得夠唔夠靚？夠唔夠剛陽？我嘅情感係咪真摯？抑或你覺得我其實只不過享受緊俾人望住嘅感覺，而我嘅身體喺此時此刻又有冇喺度講緊大話呢？我企咗喺你面前，雙手放鬆，雙腳平衡擺放。我遞高隻手，將重心移向右邊，然後開始跳舞。我一邊跳，一邊喺度諗，我係咪喺度想證明一啲乜嘢呢？抑或我其實只不過享受俾人望住嘅感覺，而我嘅身體喺此時此刻又有冇喺度講緊大話呢？有人話，其實你唔使諗咁多。你冇聽過 Dance like nobody is watching 咩？係嘅 ，Dance like nobody is watching。但係就算我可以當你冇到，我都唔可以當我自己唔喺度。又有人話，其實你唔使諗咁多，只要睇嘅人覺得你係好嘅，相信你係真嘅，咁就夠㗎啦。時間可以被扭曲，空間可以被轉化，感情可以用技巧搭救，但係喺呢一秒鐘，我只可以話俾你聽，我嘅心跳係真嘅，我流嘅汗係真嘅。 據說神喺最初創造天地嘅時候，覺得要有光。佢話 Let there be light， 於是就有咗光。但而家冇光，冇咗空間，冇咗舞台，冇咗表演者，咁係咪代表演出已經完結咗呢？演出完咗，係咪真係冇嘢會留低嘅呢？你會唔會記得個世界好似停頓咗嗰1分鐘？我坐喺台邊模仿你哋坐喺觀眾席嘅姿態，又或者當塊大幕升起嘅時候，嗰個空蕩蕩嘅舞台，你會唔會記得一路睇嘅時候，一路出現嘅問號，一路聯想到嘅嘢，一路好奇其他觀眾嘅諗法係咪同你一樣？或者你記唔記得？點樣記得都唔重要，最重要嘅係我哋真係曾經實實在在咁喺埋過一齊。
Thank you, Yan Xian. Thank you, Dix. Documented film. And then thank you everyone for participating on the message box of free commenting. So actually in the end, I was typing a loop of the phrase. It's like, yeah. Okay, here, now we are in the third section, Q&A. So here we have Dick with us and also Zoe. Zoe is the dramaturg of Dick Wong. So they were creating this piece together and since years. And then also for this occasion, they worked together to host an online proposal. What could be the possible of this online adaptation from previous piece, You and I. So now if you have a question, you can raise your hand and then pose the question directly to Dick here, or you can write your question on the message box and I will read for you. So, immediately, there's a question here. Thank you, Dick, for the wonderful experience you brought today. I'm wondering, how would you define relationship in your perspective, theory, or aesthetic experience, since you came from a special island with so complex political position, but having your own land, language, and life forms and style? Therefore, how do you see the concept relationship?
Yes, I think I need to know what relationship do you mean? The relationship between the audience and the performer, or relationship in what sense?
Yeah, could hey please you specified all possibilities.
Wow, all possibilities. Okay. Okay. Let me put it this way, because I think first I want to say a few things about why I did the online version of You and I, because I've been very hesitant to do anything online, because I think because I've been practice live performance for a long time, but I really have no motivation to do anything online, not even like, you know, making a dance film or whatever. But I think since the COVID, I find that I spend a lot of time watching a lot of performance online. And then gradually I found that there's something very interesting to me. Is about the change in the mode of spectating. remember when you were a long time ago in a black box, you know, you are in a fixed position, you were in the dark, and then well, yeah, it goes like that. But when the last 10 years, you know, in the white cube or in the museum, is when you have dance or performance, there is a very different kind of relationship between the performer and the audience, because now that the audience can have their mobility, and then the proximity is very different. And then when we move on to the internet screening or spectating, so it goes even further. It's like, you know, now, I mean, with the internet, I mean the audience, they can be anywhere they want, and they can withdraw, they can involve whenever they want, and they can use a lot of. I think this whole thing to me has changed a lot about spectatorship and authorship. I mean, spectatorship in a way meaning, you know, how to perceive a performance, and then authorship meaning how to create a performance, you know. I think due to this mode of spectating has changed. And between spectatorship and authorship, there is also something like, you know, the technology. And so I think, you know, if you talk about relationship, then I mean the relationship between me as a performer or as someone who creates performances, and you, the audience. I think because of the COVID-19, it has changed drastically. And I really want to do something to reflect on that and see. But I think maybe you will see from the online performance that I did, I took on the position of a spectator. And from there, I devised a lot of action on screen, which are based on my experience as a spectator online. So I think I'm still thinking about the question about that relationship between me, you, and I. So, but I think, and partly because technologically, I'm kind of handicapped. You know, I think my knowledge in computer is, I think, is equivalent to like maybe a primary school student. Or maybe not, because I heard now the primary school students at 10-year-old, they already know how to write computer coding. So I don't know what exactly is computer coding. So I think with this limitation, so how I'm going to react to all these things. So I think that might be my motivation in doing something like an online performance and see how it goes. Yeah.
Mm. And Dick, I'm curious, actually my first question will be, do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy it creating for an online performance?
Not at all. I tell you why. Because I constantly, I'm judging my own judgment.
Right.
Because my judgment comes from my practice in live performance, and a lot of concepts like, you know, like I mean in live performance we talk about the fourth wall, we talk about the gaze, we talk about the physical exchange of energy, and then we talk about a performer's presence and projection. And after this experience, I'm thinking if this concept is still applicable to online performance. If not, then I think we need to rethink a lot of, or do we take online performance as a new art form? I think that's quite different. I mean, because I think for the last 2 years, I mean, online performance is to me, is more like a compensation for the fact that we cannot get it together physically. And it's like a compromise or substitution. I mean, if we hold this attitude, I mean, then we are not really, I mean, the motivation I'm talking about, we are not really trying to explore, I mean, online performance as a new art form. well, just for the time being, because we couldn't do, online performance. Okay, let's try something. We cannot do, live performance. So let's do something to substitute, and then to keep the visibility, or to claim the funding, because administratively you need to do something to get your funding, so you have to do it online because you have no other way. So I think so that means it's something only temporary. It's not like there's a bunch of people who are really interested in exploring the online performance as a new art form. So so as you say in the beginning, I'm actually quite skeptical about the whole thing.
Right. I can feel that, like in this process, like you have a lot of questions while you are comparing the different function between the Google Meet and Zoom meeting. So the function of both, like this software created for the conference, and for you, it's already very different in its own performativity. Or the function that you can, like the tools that you can have, like maybe it's more like a dance technique you can have before you perform for the audience. And I find that you can please welcome to post your question on the message box, or raise your hands and or switch your camera. Okay, we have Hong Huiting raised the hand. Okay, please.
Hi, Dick.
Hello.
Hi, thank you for the section 1 and section 2. That is like really interesting performances and the video. Yeah, so I just have one simple question. It's about in the section 2, you have the video, and I feel like there's a lot of narration and also the music behind when you do the performances, right? But there's one thing I'm like really impressive, and I want to hear more on your own feelings. That is like, I think it's maybe in the beginning or in the not to the middle, and there's a scene that you sit just on the edge of the stage, and there's no music, there's no narration, and you just stare on the audience from the left to right, from the right to left. Yeah. So do you have any like feelings you can share with us, or anything could be great.
Okay, so I think one of the idea of you and I, the stage version, is like sometimes when I'm in the audience watching a performance or maybe a dance performance, sometimes I'm really curious about what the performer on stage, what is in their mind. I mean, for instance, okay, when I watch Rite of Spring by Pina Bausch, there is the chosen one who would dance to until she died. I'm always curious, what is she thinking about doing that? Yeah. And then sometimes when I'm on stage and then I look at the audience, and then I have a lot of interior dialogue, about where am I, what I'm doing, what are they thinking. I think that to me is something very interesting, because and sometimes I feel that their body, though usually audience is very silent in the theater, and from there, as a performer, if you're sensitive enough, every night you will feel the energy from the audience. And then sometimes you not only feel the energy, you will, when you see the way the gestures, the way they sit, they, to me, already making comments about, what they are thinking about my performance. So I think there's an interesting connection from there. So I think I will try to put it in the performance and see, and to make them aware of, actually they are telling me a lot of things without telling me in words, but just use their body language, and then already it tells a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So it feels like the audience may not be like really, they are not really silent. They are actually telling something by their language, by their eye contact or something. Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah.
Yes, because I think to me that what I believe about performance is that if you place yourself into the position of very active audience from the body of others, you can see a lot. Yeah, because I think when you're not in the very when you're not performing, then I think it reflects a lot what you are feeling and or what you are thinking about the world in a way. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Hui Ting. Yes, River, you have a question?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Just trying to raise my hand. Yeah, I wonder that. Yeah, because well, coming back to the description from Dick about your perception towards spectating bodies, or let's say spectatorship, I wonder literally most of the time in your work in theater setting, how do you normally conduct this spectatorship in your pieces? Or let's say how the notion of spectatorship play a role in your creative process?
I always think for every choreographer or director, usually they are the first audience of their own work. And I think I personally, I'm not saying that everybody is like me, but I think sometimes when I play the role of a spectator watching my own work, I usually play the very critical and very rational role. Sometimes being I mean, in the process of creating a performance, sometimes I can be very emotional, but I need that edge of being rational and critical so that I can balance the whole thing off. Yeah. So I think I would start from there. I mean, you take a few steps back and then look at what I've done, and then see what is there, and then keep moving. Yeah.
Because watching the revised version of You and I that you literally created like 10 years ago, reminded me because I guess you are a performance artist and choreographer that can be defined in, for example, Hong Kong's context as a radical artist, or like most of the time your work is addressing in a very unconventional way of theater making. So for example, when you are creating a choreographic piece, but it doesn't mean in your work that you are dancing all the time, or on the other way around, that you are questioning what dancing means in many different senses. So in this way, coming back to the gesture of creating a 1 minute stillness on stage, for you, like the notion or the presence of moving and not moving, what happened in your body and your mind in this way when you are presenting stillness, when you are presenting not moving as a process of moving?
I think to me, Wenqi.
Yes, I want to add to that because I found very interesting question that Riva raised here, because I also find quite impressive that 1 minute silence. And then you mentioned about interruptions, and I feel the perception of time that in theater is quite let's say, really different from what we are now, like in front of the camera, and we look at you through the computer camera, and then you are in a small square. So that means for me, I would say like this interruption in the theater, and then interruption in the online performance, and what is interrupts? Like, I think maybe Zoe can also feedback in, because I feel like dance and the text really coexist together. Like, it's like this relationship to, you know, like to co-create also with the light design. And then I feel this spectatorship with online performance somehow, you know, like you also perform in the first section, like these disruptions, it can be like you know, you just relax, you kind of give up your role, or you just you know, do whatever you would do at home, let's say. Yeah, and then somehow this is also part of the timing, or the part of the your performance. Yeah, this is just to feedback to what River just said.
I think when I create You and I mean the stage version, I think that stillness to me actually is not about not moving, but more about the perception of time. You know, I think how different can it be, just like 1 minute to you and to me, and what makes it different? I mean, and then to put it in the internet context is another story, because internet is a world that everything happens so fast, that everything, you know, Zoe, my dramaturg, said that she watched an interview of a YouTuber in Hong Kong, one of the most popular YouTuber in Hong Kong. And then the first thing he said about making a film on YouTube, the first 10 seconds determine everything. If people are still interested after 10 seconds, then they will be still interested. If they are not interested in the first 10 seconds, they will just go away. Yeah. So I think this, I mean, where do we have this perception of time? I mean, what's changing that? So that's something I want to see, because, you know, in a theater world, I think stillness, when it is used as disruption, then it might, it might make people think about, you know, how they feel. I mean, maybe they feel insecure. Maybe they say, okay, what's wrong? But, you know, on the internet, I think maybe we also have that kind of idea about, okay, what's wrong with the Wi-Fi? Is there something with wrong with the connectivity, or what?
Yeah,
or
that would be the first thing comes to my mind, actually.
Or their computer. You know, you have a lot of these doubts that can come in. But in a theater, you would think about why he suddenly stopped for 1 minute.
Yeah.
So that will be a more like a thinking process then. But in the internet, it's like, okay, so should I go? It's already 30 seconds. I think no. Maybe I would sign out and sign in again to see if things is different. So I think so. The online thing totally changed a lot of things that I believe in, or maybe I mean, if I want to do more online performance, I have to rethink the strategy in doing so. Yeah. So because in theater we talk about real time, real space, but you know, in the online performance, time is no longer real, space is no longer real. And sometimes, strangely, because on stage as a performer, if I want to get your attention, sometimes I can use my mental power to project myself, to get you, to make you feel I'm here. But on the internet, I feel funny if I feel like, okay, I'm now projecting. And I mean, that mental power doesn't go through the Wi-Fi. It doesn't, connect to you through Wi-Fi. So I think that's so many questions that came to my mind when I do this.
You need superpower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need superpower. You need like this. You need to be physically very demonstrated.
superpower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think.
Yeah. Dear Freda has a question for you.
Yes. Hi, Freda.
Hello. Hi from Vienna.
Hi. How are you?
Hi. I'm a student of Rosella Ferrari. I think you know her. She has written a bit on the work of Suni, which is also kind of what my question points to. So now you've been talking and sharing a lot about your practice as an individual performer. How do you feel about the current situation in terms of your collaborative work that you also do? How does that impact you working together with others in Hong Kong right now? Do you work together, or do you decide to work together separately in terms of physical space? Maybe you could share a bit on that with us.
All right. So you mean Suni icosahedron?
Yes.
I think we are now on sort of like a on project basis. So I'm so sometimes when they find there is some project that fits me, and then they will ask if I want to be a performer or whatever. But I think I don't know. So I think for the last year I haven't done anything for them except maybe 1 or 2 workshops. That's all. Yeah.
And so in the pandemic time, would you also give these workshops online then, or you're just waiting for the situation to improve?
No. I only do real workshop.
Okay.
So with physical presence, because but I'm trying now because the situation is so different every day, because I'm now actually working on a theater production, which I think I have to use Zoom to during the creative project. Yeah, so there will be another new milestone for me.
Okay. Which you're hoping to show in the real physical theater.
Yes, I think it will be in Macau. Macau is quite very close to Hong Kong. It's another special administrative region, and then because now we can't go anywhere, so I think so I have to do it by Zoom. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Freda. So, okay, so just to wrap up this session, maybe the last question for Dick is that you say like what happening during pandemic somehow change your belief also in the theater making. So what kind of future you foreseen? Like what kind of future of from your work, or how you observe the changes in performing arts during this time, and what were you foreseen, and what is still your belief on this?
I feel like I'm very creatively. I'm hibernating. Hibernating, I mean, it's like winter comes early. So so actually, for example, for this year's what I've done so far, they're basically I'm reworking my older works. So I haven't done anything new yet. And another, not only just the COVID, but also the situation in Hong Kong these days, because we are yet to find out what can be expressed and what cannot. I think meaning the red line, where is the red line? Because after the national security law, nobody knows, I mean, where is that line? Yeah. So I think that to me will play. I mean, no matter whatever role, big or small, it is somehow part of the. It's going to affect whatever I'm going to do. I think, yeah. Because I think it's like a double impact. Not only just the COVID-19, because we cannot gather, together physically, but also in the current situation that I don't know what's the best way, that I have to take that into consideration, I think, when I create. Yeah.
Right. And can maybe Zoe just have a last few something you want to share with us from this session?
And I think it's a very good opportunity to rework the you and I, but in an online setting. I'm not sure how the audience and you all read it, but from my perspective, working the on-site version, the theater version, and also the online version, it was very different. The focus of the piece changes a lot. For me, the online version is a lot more about the audience, but the theater version a lot more about the relationship or the about the performer as well as the audience. But here, probably in turn, when what you look at what you get from the narration here in the online version is a lot about what you might be doing while you're watching us, and then your attention, your engagement. For me, it's a bit more. It's more like challenging the audience. Oh, are you looking at me like that? But the theater version is more equal. And while I was working the theater version, I always told Dick, oh, I really love the theater version. It's like the love letter. He hated this word. He hated. But I keep saying, oh, it's the love letter to the audience, and I don't know, like not confession, a conviction. Is it the word that we were using that time?
Confession.
Not confession, but like it's conviction is more like telling you what I'm doing now, what our relationship will be in the theater, and I'm committed. I will commit to it. But the online version is more like, okay, it's more about you. Yeah. And
I think because for the theater version, because when getting together physically becomes so difficult, so there's a lot of that's very different, because online thing is like, it's so easy, it's so casual. We can, we can connect anytime, anywhere. So does it make, because in a theater, I mean, during the COVID time, how long do we have to wait to see you again? So that, I mean, easily it will fall into that kind of very, romanticization of a relationship.
Yes, and then it was, we just reopened in May, not so long from the lockdown. So I think even the audience were very emotional in the theater after watching it. Like we saw several audience, they were crying or weeping and saying that, wow, we're so happy to be in the theater again. I think it's quite very heavily influenced by the situation at that time. And for this version, we are much more critical and rational.
Yeah, right. I guess in May was more like very precious opportunity for people to gather together again in the theater. Well, okay, thank you so much, Dick and Zoe, for tonight's session. And it was wonderful to have you all with us, that we perform together and share these thoughts together. So the next session will be on Friday, 3rd of September, 9 o'clock at night. And we will have Maria Hasabi from Cyprus and USA with us. And then she will share her thoughts on the work that she built in this year in the topic of By the Way of Images. So thank you so much for being here together.
Thank you, everyone.
And thank you, everyone. Hope to see you in the next session. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye. Ciao.
Ciao.
再见。再见。谢谢。
谢
谢大家。谢谢 Zoe， 谢谢 Dick， 谢谢 River， 谢谢 T-Pack， 谢谢燕贤。
I took a picture. I took her.
Yeah.